Have you seen those videos titled "Japan's Dark Side" flooding YouTube lately? They show shocking stories about schools, suicide, abuse, poverty. But here's the truth no one talks about. Most of them aren't even based on real experience. Just rumors, assumptions, hearsay. I've watched dozens of them and I noticed a disturbing pattern. Many creators have never lived in Japan. Some have never even been here. Yet they speak with authority about a country they barely know. Let me say this first: yes, Japan has darkness. But so does every country. And that's exactly why we must not talk with just emotions. We need logic, context, responsibility. As a Japanese person, I want to share with you what's really going on. Not to blindly defend Japan but to help you see the full picture. In this video, I'll break down how these dark Japan videos manipulate feelings, how false narratives spread online, and what life in Japan truly feels like when you actually live here. Ready to find out what's real and what's just for clicks? Let's begin. Section 1. Why is Dark Japan so popular right now? Why are so many people suddenly obsessed with Japan's dark side? And why now? If you search Dark Side of Japan, you'll find thousands of videos. Titles like "Shocking Truth About Japanese Schools" or "Why Japan is Not What It Seems." Some even claim Japan is a lie. They're dramatic, emotional, addictive, but most of all, they're popular. Creators know one thing: darkness sells. And Japan, seen as a perfect, polite country, becomes the perfect target. People love to tear down what looks too perfect, especially when it's far away and unfamiliar. But ask yourself, how many of those creators actually lived in Japan? How many truly understand the culture? Not from tourist trips, but from daily life, from work, from struggle, from silence. Many of these videos are not documentaries. They're not journalism. They're content, made for shock value, for clicks, for revenue. Yes, Japan has its problems. So does your country. So does mine. But if we only highlight pain without truth, without depth, without context, what are we really showing the world? In this video, we're not going to hide the truth, but we won't exaggerate it either. Let's start by asking this: do you really want to understand Japan beyond the algorithm? Or do you just want to feel smarter than a country you don't know? Section 2. We watched 50 video shares. What we found. We decided to test a theory. So we watched more than 50 popular Dark Japan videos on YouTube. And what we found was disappointing. Almost none of them were based on real experience. Not a single one started with "when I lived in Japan." Most opened with "I heard that," or "apparently," or "some people say." That's not journalism. That's gossip. The videos follow a similar formula. Step 1: show shocking headlines. Step 2: add scary background music. Step 3: use images of sad-looking people in black and white. And finally, speak with absolute confidence about a country they barely know. It's not illegal, but it is misleading. The goal is not to explain Japan. The goal is to provoke emotion. To make you angry, or sad, or outraged. Why? Because emotion makes you stay. And more views means more money. Let's be honest, have you ever questioned the source of these videos? Have you ever asked, who is this person? Why do they speak with such authority? Where is their evidence? In most cases, there is none. No citations, no interviews, no lived experience. Just mood, just opinion, just drama. And the saddest part? Many viewers don't notice. They watch, they react, and they believe. But if we care about truth, we must learn to ask better questions. Section 3. Who's actually telling these stories? Let's ask a simple question. Who are the people making these Dark Japan videos? You might think they're journalists, or experts in Japanese culture, or maybe people who've lived here for decades. But in most cases they're not. Many are YouTubers chasing trends. Some are teenagers making videos from their bedrooms. Some have never set foot in Japan. Yet they speak as if they know its heart. There's a big difference between visiting Japan and truly living in it. Tourists see surface-level things. Clean trains, vending machines, politeness. But they don't see the real struggles, or the quiet strengths, or the balance of contradictions that make Japan what it is. Only when you live here do you understand the pressure to conform, the silence in the workplace, the beauty in small gestures, the loneliness in crowds. But the creators of these videos? They rarely show that. Instead, they pick extremes. They highlight the unusual, the broken, the tragic. Why? Because it gets views. Because it's easy to criticize what you don't fully understand. Let me be clear, Japan is not perfect. No country is. But if someone is going to judge it, shouldn't they know it first? Think about it. If someone made a video about your country's dark side, without living there, how would you feel? This isn't just about Japan. It's about honesty, humility, and responsibility. 3 things we all need more of online. Section 4. Why emotion beats truth on the internet. Let's talk about something dangerous. On the internet, emotion travels faster than truth. Videos that make you angry spread more than videos that make you think. Posts that shock you go viral. Thoughtful, balanced content, it often gets ignored. This isn't an accident. It's design. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram are built to keep you scrolling. And what keeps people scrolling? Drama, conflict, emotion. That's why Dark Japan videos perform so well. They're emotional by design. They make you feel disturbed, disgusted, even betrayed. And the more you feel, the more you comment, the more you share, the longer you watch. That's how the algorithm works. It doesn't care if the story is true. It only cares if people engage. So what happens next? Other creators copy the same formula. More drama, more exaggeration. And the real Japan? It gets lost. We begin to see Japan not as it is, but as a collage of fears, complaints, and misunderstandings. If 100 people tell the same lie, does it start to sound like the truth? This is not a conspiracy. It's just how digital systems reward attention. But we don't have to play that game. We can choose to pause, to reflect, to ask, is this true, or just dramatic? Because if we don't, truth will always lose. Section 5. Why do so many people believe these videos? Why do these Dark Japan videos get believed so easily? It's simple. Most viewers have never been to Japan. They have no way to compare, no way to say, that doesn't sound right. So they trust the voice in the video. They believe the tone, the music, the images. It feels real because they have nothing to compare it to. Imagine hearing someone talk about a place you've never visited. You have no reason to doubt them, especially if they speak confidently, especially if the video is well edited, especially if it fits your existing image of that country. This is called confirmation bias. We tend to believe what we already expect. If you already think Japan is too strict, then a video saying Japanese schools are abusive sounds believable. If you think Japan is repressed, then Japanese people are secretly miserable feels true even if it's not. These videos play with emotions and assumptions. They don't teach, they suggest, they don't prove, they imply. And many viewers don't ask for more. They watch, they nod, they move on now thinking Japan is a dark, cold, lonely place. But the truth? Japan is a country of contrasts. There is struggle, yes, but there is also kindness, beauty, and quiet strength. When you only see one side, you miss everything else. So the real question is, are you watching to learn, or just to judge? Section 6. Is silence always a sign of darkness? Let me ask you something. Do you believe silence always means something is wrong? In many cultures, silence is seen as negative. If people don't speak up, it must mean they're afraid, or oppressed, or hiding something. But in Japan, silence can mean many things. Respect, thoughtfulness, peace, even love. You don't shout to prove you care. You show it in small ways, quiet ways. But when a Western viewer sees a silent classroom, or a quiet office, they might think something's wrong. They assume silence means suffering, because that's what silence means in their culture. This is where misunderstanding begins. Not because someone is lying, but because we're looking through the wrong lens. Let me ask again. In your culture, what does silence mean? Fear, shame, obedience, or something else? Japan is a high-context culture. Much is said without words. A glance, a pause, a bow. These things speak volumes if you know how to read them. But most dark Japan videos don't explain this. They see silence and assume darkness. They see order and assume control. They see politeness and assume repression. But assumptions aren't truth, they're shortcuts. So ask yourself when you watch videos about Japan, are you seeing the culture? Or just projecting your own? Section 7. Yes, there are problems, but that's not the whole story. Let me be honest. Japan has problems. No country is perfect, and Japan is no exception. There are lonely people. There is pressure to conform. There are rigid rules. Yes, some workplaces are toxic. Yes, some schools are outdated. I've lived here for years. I've seen the cracks. I've felt the weight of silence. I've experienced frustration. I don't deny any of that. But here's what those dark Japan videos always miss. Context. They show the pain, but never the balance. They highlight the stress, but never the strength. For example, yes, Japanese workers are tired, but many also feel deep pride in their work. Yes, school rules can be strict, but schools also teach discipline, cooperation, and community. It's not just black and white. It's not just broken or beautiful. It's both, and only people who've lived here can feel that nuance. So when someone makes a video saying Japan is miserable, I always ask, how long did they live here? Did they ever work in a Japanese company? Did they talk to locals outside of tourist zones? Without that context, it's just noise, not knowledge. Japan is not perfect, but it's not broken, either. It's human. And like any human story, you need to look at the full picture. Section 8. Who are these videos really for? Let's stop and ask a deeper question. Who are these dark Japan videos really for? They claim to raise awareness. They say they want to expose injustice. They talk about helping the people of Japan. But look closer. The creators often aren't Japanese. They don't live here. They don't speak the language. They don't engage with the society they criticize. So who are they helping? Sometimes it's not about justice. It's about attention. It's about feeling superior. It's about views, likes, and validation. Saying Japan is broken can make people feel wise. It gives them a chance to judge another culture without ever leaving their room. It looks like activism, but it's often entertainment, wrapped in anger, decorated with concern. But underneath, it's just performance. There's nothing wrong with pointing out problems. But there's a big difference between calling something out and caring about change. If you care, you stay. You listen. You learn. You ask questions. You don't just point and walk away. Real change comes from compassion, from understanding, not just outrage. So next time you see a video exposing Japan, ask yourself this: is this for truth or for clicks? Section 9. The problem isn't just the creators, it's us, too. Let's be honest. The problem isn't just the people making these videos. It's also the people watching them. It's us. We're the ones clicking. We're the ones sharing. We're the ones giving these videos millions of views. And why? Because we like drama. We like stories that shock us, that make us feel something, even if that something isn't true. But here's the truth. If we keep rewarding sensationalism, we'll keep getting lies. The internet runs on attention. And whatever gets the most attention wins. Not what's most accurate, not what's most fair, just what's most clickable. That means the responsibility is also ours. Not just as viewers, but as thinkers. We need to ask better questions. Who made this video? Why did they make it? What experience do they have? What sources are they using? Does this video explainer just provoke? We don't need to be experts to spot manipulation. We just need to slow down, to stay curious, to stay humble, because if we don't, we're not just being misled, we're helping spread the lie. So next time you watch a video about Japan, ask yourself not do I agree, but Do I understand? That question makes all the difference. Section 10. You decide what to believe. Now that you've seen the full picture, what do you think? Japan has problems, yes. But so does every country. Pain exists, so does beauty. There's silence, and there's strength inside that silence. No place is perfect, but no place deserves to be misunderstood. I'm not asking you to love Japan. I'm not asking you to defend it. I'm asking you to think deeper, to look beyond the headlines, to listen before judging. Because when you only see one side of a country, you miss what makes it human. We don't need to agree on everything. We don't need to cancel every bad opinion. What we need is more honesty, more curiosity, more context. If someone says, Japan is dark, ask which part. If someone says, Japanese people are repressed, ask how do you know? Simple questions can protect truth, but silence in the face of lies only makes them louder. So now it's up to you. Next time you see a dark Japan video, will you accept it at face value? Or will you dig deeper? Will you share it without thinking? Or will you ask, is this fair? Is this true? Because in the end, what we believe shapes how we see the world, and how we see others shapes who we are. Cultural habits like this may seem small, but they reflect big ideas. How does your culture compare? Let's share and learn from each other. Leave a comment if you'd like. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.